Hello, my name is Ditya, and I help young men start making money online by fixing their mindset and by doing work that they actually love instead of, making AI generated TikTok brain rot content or like drop shipping by doing work that they actually love. And if you're anything like me, you've probably started a side hustle or two in the past because you wanted to make money online, or at the very least, you've like thought about it, you've considered it, you've like watched those videos on how to start a side hustle or whatever. But I made this entire presentation that actually explains the one single thing that's actually stopping you from making money online. And you need to stop doing this. And if you stop doing this, then you're actually going to start making money online. But first of all, why should you trust me? Well, it's because I've been in your exact same position, right? I used to watch the 7 easy ways to make passive income online. I tried drop shipping these AliExpress, Alibaba astronaut phone cases, and then I tried making an agency called A Bloom Advertising. And then after both of those didn't work, I moved on to a TikTok core account where I tried to grow that. It didn't work. And then I tried this YouTube channel that also didn't work. And the main reason why all of these didn't work, pretty much the only reason, was because emotions got in the way, right? And after I realized this and after I actually started to fix this, now I'm starting to actually make money online because I realized that emotions get in the way. And you need to remove emotion from business, right? Because it causes almost every single issue in business. And that doesn't mean that you can't have emotions, right? You can still have emotion, you can still express emotion, whatever. Just separate that from business, right? Because if you business and side hustles, if in business you're listening to your emotions instead of thinking logically, that's going to cause a lot of issues. In fact, pretty much all of the issues. So I'm going to explain the four main ways that it causes issues and it manifests, and I'm going to also give the solutions to those. And I'm going to explain everything in depth, and you're going to understand everything by the end of this. So there's shiny object syndrome, bad habits and addictions, not doing the work, and overthinking. So number one, shiny object syndrome. And if you don't know what shiny object syndrome is, it's basically where you switch from, the newest attractive side hustle to side hustle to side hustle, and you try something new over and over and over, and then you say, this is the last time, I promise. Basically, shiny object syndrome looks like this: your progress in a business. So you start off in a business, and then you make some progress, and then you reset all your progress, and then you do it again, and then you do it again, and you keep, making a little bit of progress, and then you just start you like decide to start a new path, and then suddenly you just lose all your progress and you decide to start again, right? So that's basically what was going on over here. If I just kept sticking to drop shipping or agency or this YouTube channel or this TikTok core account, then it would have worked for me, right? Because I started this business like a year ago. So imagine like the progress I would have been able to make if I just stuck to it. So shiny object syndrome basically looks like this, right? So this is where you are right now. This is your path, and this is the goal that you're working towards, right? So this is like 10K a month online, making $10,000 a month online, and this is the path that's going to get you there, right? So this is the drop shipping, the agency, whatever, side hustle, business, whatever, and you start walking along this path, and then you see something new, right? You see this new easy side hustle, this new attractive side hustle, and then you're like, okay, this looks easier and it looks like lower effort and it looks like I'm going to reach it faster. So I'm going to stop my progress on this and I'm going to work on this instead. And once you start going towards this shiny object, you say like, okay, this is the last switch I'm gonna make, right? And then once you're almost there, you're like, there's a new shiny object that appears over here, right? So you stop along the path like there, and you're like, okay, I gotta go do this one instead. And then you stop, and then you see a new shiny object over here, right? And then you stop here, and you're like, okay, I have to go towards this one instead. And then you're like, okay, this is the last switch, the last switch, the last switch. I'm not gonna switch it again. It's just this is the last switch, and I'm actually gonna start making progress on this one, right? And you just keep repeating that over and over, and you never make progress, right? And if you just stuck to one business, this is what your progress would have looked like, right? You would have made so much more progress. No matter what business model, even if it's the worst, most outdated business model, if you just stuck to it, you would have made so much more progress, right? And further down the road, shiny object syndrome also manifests when you're making huge changes in your business, right? So let's say that you want to completely switch the color theme, or I don't know, the structure of your business. So let's say that you have like a drop shipping business and then you want to like completely redo the website, or you want to like switch the platform that you're on. Like if you want to go from like Shopify to like Squarespace, I don't know. Like making huge changes like that further down the road, that's shiny object syndrome as well, right? Because you just want novelty, you just want something new, you just want like dopamine. Because if you do the same thing over and over and over and you keep working on the same thing, it gets a little bit boring after a while. But if you have this new novel thing, if you switch the website, if you switch the platform that you're on, if you switch the whole color theme, if you switch the style, or if you make like a new TikTok account or an Instagram account, or you start doing short form content, if you do all of these huge changes, that's novel, right? That's new, and that's going to give you dopamine. And now you're probably asking, why do I have shiny object syndrome? Well, once again, it's because of boredom, right? Because change gives dopamine. You just want novelty. Your brain just seeks novelty, and that's your emotions getting in the way. And you can see that this is your emotions getting in the way, right? Because you're chasing dopamine, whether it's logical or not to do so. And so the solution to this is to ask yourself before you make the big change, why you're making such a change. Why are you switching the business model? What issue are you trying to solve by making the change, right? So let's say that you're switching from drop shipping to like starting an agency. Well, you need to ask yourself, why am I going from drop shipping to agency? Is it because some YouTuber said that agency is a really easy way to make money? Is it because somebody said that drop shipping is outdated? Is it because my friend made money with agency? Is it because I saw a random screenshot of somebody making money with agency? But you need to ask yourself, what issue are you trying to solve? Are you trying to make money faster? Like, what's the issue that you're making the change for? And then as a result, you're going to want to find the least chaotic solution to your problem. So the issue that you're trying to solve, find the least chaotic solution, which means the solution with the least change. And this is from Sam Evans directly, who makes like $1 million a month from business. He's like a really good entrepreneur. So you should probably listen to him. And once you have the least chaotic solution, just make sure, since it's such a big decision, just sit on the decision for like at least a day so that you're not like just running off your high emotions and you're not making decisions based off your emotions, but rather you're doing it based off of reason. And usually you switch business models and stuff because you're only showed like the pros and the screenshots and the good parts of the cool new business model, but all of the cons and all of the hardship and actually all of the difficulty that comes with the business model and all of the struggle, they're all just hidden from you, right? So you really need to make a logical decision and see all perspectives before you make a decision, even though that sounds like boring. And real quickly, before I talk about how emotions cause you to do bad habits and addictions and the solution to that, I have a Discord server, which is the first link in the description down below. But over the next days and weeks, I'm going to make it a lot better. I'm going to have calls, events, Q&As. I'm going to be really active in there, and I have a bunch of stuff planned out. It's going to be a great server. So yeah, just click the first link in the description and join right now. And if for whatever reason you don't like it in there, then you can always just leave. And the second way that emotions are stopping you from making money online is by bad habits and addictions. So why do you do video games / social media, right? Why do you have these addictions? Why do you do these bad habits? Because your emotions, right? Your emotions, they want dopamine. And here's kind of the pipeline. Here's kind of the pathway. If you follow your emotions, you're going to get bad results in business. If following your emotions led to good results in business, then you would have already been at 1 million a month, right? So if you just think about it logically, if you just kind of see this pipeline, then it should be obvious that following your emotions is bad and thinking logically is good, right? And now I'm not saying to be like an emotionless cold person. Once again, you can still have emotions, just don't include them in your business because they lead to bad things happening. And if you really think about it, discipline and consistency and stuff like that, they just mean thinking logically and removing emotion from the situation. Because guess what? Facts don't care about your feelings, dude. Ben Shapiro was right. Well, so what's the solution to this? Well, I have a detailed explanation that's 8 minutes and 34 seconds long, which is the previous video before this one on my channel, which is how to stop quitting your side hustles. And I know the title doesn't really match with the name of this, Bad Habits and Addictions, but trust me, it applies. Just watch it and you'll see. Number 3 is not doing the work, right? Emotions make you not want to do the work. And what's the solution to this? Because this is kind of self-explanatory. I don't have to talk about why emotions make you procrastinate. But the solution to this is to break down your work into just its simplest parts, right? Don't overcomplicate it. Don't add your own perspective and emotion to it. Just break it down into its simplest parts and see it for what it is, right? And this is directly from Charlie Morgan. And also Marcus Aurelius talked about this in his meditations. So Charlie Morgan is a 1 million a month entrepreneur. He's a really good entrepreneur. He makes a bunch of money. And he's only like 24 also, so you should probably listen to him, just like Sam Evans. And Marcus Aurelius, he was like a Roman emperor or something. A lot of people look up to him, including me, and he's a really good philosopher. And he said the first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. And the second is to look at things in the face and know them for what they are, right? So he means just see things as what they are and don't add like your own bias to them. So yeah, see things as they are and don't add your own perspective / subjectivity. Just be objective when it comes to business. And some examples of this are that like an LV bag, a Louis Vuitton bag, or a Rolex, they're just a plead for status, right? If you see a rich person with a Rolex, it's not likely that they just really like watches, right? They probably are like looking for status, right? It's basically the equivalent of like begging for status, begging for people to like them. Like the whole point of getting an expensive luxury, like over the top watch like this is just for status and for other people to be like, oh, that's expensive, that's cool, and that's it. And like, look, people literally use these like ugly Louis Vuitton bags because it gives them status, right? And typing an essay is basically just pressing keys on a keyboard and maybe thinking a little bit. Like if you just break things down into its simplest parts, it makes it so much less daunting, right? Because you get so caught up in your own head with like all of your own opinions and your own perspective and your own bias that you don't see things as just like straight up what they are. And lastly, emotion causes you to not get good results in business because of overthinking, right? So think about the less emotional version of you, right? He would just grind on a business after having the basic idea of like what to do, the basic direction, the basic path of where to go. He would just start taking action and grind on the business over and over and over and keep grinding as much as he can after he just has the general direction, right? And if there was a roadblock along the way, like once it was right in front of him, then he would fix it then and there, but not before that. He wouldn't see so much in the future. He would just work on what's directly in front of him, and he would not overthink way further down the road. And guess what? Their actual action and their experience will let them to start making money while you're just here overthinking about, the right thing to do, the best business model, this, whatever. You're just overthinking and you're not actually taking action. And you're here watching videos like these when you should really just remove emotion and just start taking action and keep taking action. And please realize that if you stopped overthinking and switching business models and, like keep using your brain to think about what to do and instead of just going on the path, like just following the path towards your goal. And if you stop like thinking and overthinking about, this new thing, if you stop considering so many ideas, obviously there's exceptions to this, but if you stop like over considering every single idea and you stopped consuming so much content of like, oh, here's the newest business models, then you would already be at your goal so long ago. You'd already be rich. You'd be just sitting in cash if you just followed the path. And so what's the solution to this? Well, it's something called stoicism. You probably already know stoicism, but if you don't, just look it up. It's going to help you stop being so emotional in business, right? Because stoicism is basically seeing things as objective and not having so much emotion. And you need to realize that that resistance that's stopping you from, taking action and actually working on your business it's completely in your head, right? And it can be removed easily. It's just like an invisible barrier in your head, and you can just get rid of it whenever you want. So procrastination is just an invisible wall in your head that you can get rid of whenever you want. And I'm just going to end this with a Seneca quote, which is another Stoic, right? So Marcus Aurelius, this guy over here, and Seneca, these guys are considered Stoics. And he said that we are more frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than from reality. Well, I messed that up a little bit. But basically, most of your pain is just in your brain, right? And very little of your pain is actually from reality and what's actually objective and what's true. Most of it is just like what you've made up in your head and you've gone all up in your head about. And you can see how much I'm quoting the Stoics, right? Because this is actually what works. And yeah, that's about it. If you want to join the Discord server, it's the first link in the description down below. It's a great community. It's a great Discord server. It's really new right now. I'm going to work on it over the next days and weeks, but it's going to be a really good Discord server. It's going to have events. It's going to have a lot of people. It's going to have a great community, and it's going to have like-minded people like you. And also, if you're serious about making money online and you'd love to, stop thinking about money whenever you do something, and you'd actually love to have great experiences, like you'd love to eat at fancy restaurants, you'd love to buy cool things, and you don't have to think about money with every purchase. You don't have to buy the cheaper thing at the restaurant or at the grocery store. And you can actually live a life where money is not your constraint and you have financial freedom, and you don't have to work a horrible 9 to 5 job where you sit for like 8 hours a day and work under an angry boss. If that sounds appealing to you, make sure you check out the second link in the description below. It will change your life, I promise you. I have like a guarantee on there where if you don't start making money after 90 days with my help, then I'll literally work with you for free until you do. And yeah, just click the link below right now and check it out for a minute or two. If it's not for you, you can just close off the tab, no problem. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.